from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Two empires.
These two behemoths square off.
Champion versus champion.
Two rivals who for the first time are standing face to face.
Who is going to emerge?
One, home to the toughest test in MMA.
This kid means business.
The other, a ruthless gauntlet of fierce competitors.
Drop with the right hand!
Both have champions
Heavyweight champion of the world.
and rising contenders.
Collar! Unbelievable! AJ McKee!
And now they collide. For the first time in history, PFL champs versus Bellator champs.
Mamma mia!
The best against the best. Including two giants who clash for the heavyweight crown. The 6'8" PFL problem
Problema with the championship!
versus Bellator's Darth Destroyer.
Champs versus champs.
PFL champs.
Bellator champs.
Champs versus champs. The first time in history.
Let's go!
Oh my God!
This is how legends are forged.
Unbelievable!
King against king.
What a battle that is going to be.
PFL champs versus Bellator champs.
Welcome, fight fans, to beautiful Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, capital of this country and emerging capital of the combat sports world. The sports world in general. Matter of fact, this place is glowing and buzzing and excited for history to be made right there at Kingdom Arena on February 24th. The launch of the PFL pay-per-view super fights division begins with champs versus champs, and this incredible card all on ESPN Plus pay-per-view and DAZN pay-per-view. We'll start the night with Clay Collard and AJ McKee, two of the most feared men in mixed martial arts, squaring off at light heavyweight. How about champion Bruno Capoloza versus former light heavyweight champion of Bellator Vadim Nemkov, two-time welterweight king Ray Cooper III against the current Bellator 170-pound monster Jason Jackson. And then current champ versus current champ Ipika Sanganai, 205-pound champ in 2023 in the PFL. He'll take on the still undefeated Johnny Eblen. Your heavyweight main event is Reina Ferreira and Ryan Bader. Bragging rights will be contested tomorrow night in the Kingdom. The PFL flag waved by fighters in the red corner, Bellator fighters wearing blue tape tomorrow night. And when you have super fights, you need a super prize. This super belt, made and designed by the same folks who bring you Super Bowl rings. Look at that gorgeous piece of hardware. Fight fans, we are happy to welcome you to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. Sean O'Connell here with the bad guy himself, Chael Sonnen. And look at what I am holding, the champs versus champs belt. You know what, Chael? I've already got one of these belts. Why don't you hold this belt?
Well, hand it over if you've already got one.
But you know what I want is I want that ring. This unique feature, we've never seen that in mixed martial arts before. That's really something new, something special. And this card is really something special. History to be made, an inflection point in mixed martial arts history. First time major MMA has happened in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and fans have talked about this for a really long time. I want to see the best versus the best. I want to see what that champion can do when you square him off against another organization's champion. Well, after the PFL acquired Bellator, we decided to make that a reality. It happens tomorrow night. History being made.
You hand me this belt, I had no idea this was such a wonderful piece of artwork, and I got to tell you, partner, the only thing that makes the night better look for me is having you here. But I'm not standing in the middle, I'm leaning Bellator, and 24 hours I'm going to be telling you, I told you so.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of bragging rights on the line. The fighters all week long have been sniping a little bit back and forth. These Bellator guys are overrated. The PFL guys, they say, you know what, Bellator, they don't have to fight often enough. It's not the toughest test in MMA to win a Bellator belt. And you know what? The activity level is very different between some of these champs facing off against other champs. As long as we're here talking about great contenders and incredible champs, I got to welcome in the whole broadcast crew. When you do a big card like this, you got to have everybody in the building. So we brought some legends with us. I'm talking about the Outlaw, Dan Hardy, and of course the natural himself, Captain America, Randy Couture, cage side. Fellas, to you.
Thank you very much, guys. Great to see those two on stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great to be working with the legend Randy Couture again. Now, of course, it's a stacked card, but we're going to focus on the main and co-main event. And I want you to talk to me about Impa Kasanganay. He had a huge 2023, moving back down to middleweight this time, taking on Johnny Eblen. Talk to me about Impa.
He came out of the Challenger Series, so he had 5 fights to get to the championship in the 2023 season. This young man didn't do any athletics as a kid. He started training at 24 years old. He's got 15 victories. To win a championship in the PFL, he believes his education has helped him become a better fighter. This guy is on fire.
He's a very smart individual and a fantastic athlete, but of course, the current middleweight champion of Bellator, undefeated Johnny Eblen, is a wrestling phenom, and that is going to be the problem for Kasanganay tomorrow night. Johnny Eblen has got this wrestling game that is oppressive. He grinds people into the canvas. If he can get a body lock on you, he's going to ragdoll you, throw you around, and return you to the mat over and over again. He loves draining the gas tank and breaking someone's spirit. What a fascinating fight that is going to be. But of course, the main event, and I'm going to pull up the tail of the tape. Former heavyweight here, you've fought a lot of these big guys. Let's just have a look at the size difference between Ferreira and Bader. I mean, the size difference, 6'8", Randy Couture. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Hernan Ferreira, I believe if he was born in the United States of America, he would be on an NFL team playing tight end in the Super Bowl. Now, he's here in the Super Bowl of mixed martial arts. This guy's got long-range weapons, hands and feet, knees. He's come to top team and shored up his game now, and that put him in championship title, knocking out Dennis Koltsov to win the title in 2023.
And he's a real problem to solve as well for Ryan Bader, who gives up height and reach and weight. And the reason why Ferreira's so dangerous is because of those long limbs that he uses. Look how he uses this center channel to fill it with this front kick. As Jones tries to level change to avoid the kick, he walks straight onto that shin. Unconscious, game over. And then we go back to the Stuart Austin fight. A beautiful, crisp 1-2 punch. Let's look at this. The jab goes out. That's going to draw away the rear hand of Stuart Austin. You can see him parry that hand down. That opens the center channel for that powerful right hand and that humongous reach advantage to be utilized. Now, of course, Ryan Bader, his skill set is his wrestling, but the wrestling threat can open up his opportunities to strike. Watch how he level changes as he moves in with this hook against Mo Lawal. Same technique he used against Bader. He gives them the impression he's level changing onto that lead leg. We've got that deep penetration step, but that's what powers the left hand. When that lands on the chin, he puts people to sleep. And if you're aware of his wrestling, if you're afraid of that level change, of course, you've got to make that decision in the split moment. Do you level change or do you defend your face? You can't do both in mixed martial arts, and with that double threat from Ryan Bader, he could be a real problem. How do you see the main event going?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. We have 2 amazing wrestlers that are going to try and go out and impose their will on their opponents. Can they get it done?
That's the big question. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, fellas. Look, I love the breakdown, Chael. I want to add a little bit of something to it because there's a different part of this matchup, a different aspect of this matchup. Ryan Bader, far more experience than Renan Ferreira. You can't buy that kind of experience, especially at the highest level where we have seen Ryan Bader for so many years. But you know what? You can't teach, you can't learn the athleticism and the size of Renan Ferreira. It's a pretty classic matchup in that regard.
Yeah, you know, the first time I met Francis Ngannou, I remember shaking his hand and staring at him and just saying, this is a very large and athletic and strong-looking man. I had that same feeling when I was face-to-face with Ferreira for the first time. And I got to tell you, those intangibles, not being a master black belt, not being a master wrestler or striker, but he can do a little bit of everything. And much like Francis, he has a gold belt that says he can beat all the black belts, Sean.
I'm really glad that you mentioned Francis Ngannou. Of course, he signed with the PFL. He's been killing it in the boxing world, but the stakes get even higher tomorrow night in our heavyweight main event because the winner of Renan Ferreira and Ryan Bader will welcome Francis Ngannou to the Smart Cage when he comes back to the sport of mixed martial arts and he steps inside the cage for the PFL the first time. He'll do it against tomorrow night's winner.
Yes, I predict that Francis is going to go face-to-face with him tomorrow night. We'll see if that happens if he comes out of the crowd, but that's my own prediction that that fight will be made before we go off air tomorrow.
An incredible main event capping off a beautiful pay-per-view card, but there's a lot more tomorrow night. We open the night on ESPN Plus and on DAZN prior to pay-per-view with these incredible matchups. That feature bout is a rematch 5 years in the making. Henry Corrales wants to get it again. Aaron Pico wants his revenge. You've got the pro debut of Muhammad Ali's grandson, Biagio Ali Walsh. You've got the return of Clarissa Shields, the two-time Olympic gold medalist in boxing, 3-division champion in professional boxing, and of course, a couple of great rising talents on the Saudi scene are opening the card for us. Chael, I'm telling you, this undercard is stellar.
Oh, I love it. And by the way, on Clarissa Shields, this weight class is at 165 pounds. I only tell you that, partner, because there was some drama at the weigh-in this morning. I'm expecting a little back and forth between these women even here tonight. It's extended to social media. 165 was the agreed-upon class. They both made 165, but the challenger, as I'm going to put it, because she's not the Olympic champion, had a big problem with it, at least this morning.
I'm expecting we might see some sparks flying at the weigh-ins, especially in that fight. And, you know, standing by with us up here on stage, a couple of people who will get to the bottom of whatever happens. We've got some folks here to interview. Josh Thompson, the punk, is here, and also the lovely, the talented, I think she told me if she was a fighter, she'd call herself the war child, Amanda Guerra.
You know, Sean, you actually listen to me, unlike Josh Thompson, who I've worked with for a number of years. We are so excited to be here in Saudi Arabia for this historic fight night. It is going to be incredible. Look, yes, PFL, Bellator, all under one banner right now, but there is still a lot of animosity between these two groups, and both want to prove they are the better ones. Guys like Johnny Eblen, middleweight champ for Bellator, 14-0, undefeated. He thinks he's going to get the win tomorrow night, but I talked to guys like Impa Kasanganay, who has a belt of his own. He said, I'm going to be the one to hand Johnny Eblen his first L. I'm here on the PFL side, but let's send it over to the Bellator side. Josh Thompson, hello, my friend.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks, Amanda. Look, I'm really looking forward to the main event, Ryan Bader, Renan Ferreira. What I want to know is the size going to be too much for Ryan Bader, and can Ryan Bader get his wrestling started early and often? If he gets that takedown early, look for him to exploit and control that top position where Renan Ferreira is going to use his athleticism, stick and move, stay on his bike, and make Ryan Bader pay. We're going to find out if Renan Ferreira could be the problemo for Ryan Bader. Back down to Big John.
I'll tell you what, you're all talking about these fights, and they're all fantastic, but it's the way this pay-per-view starts out. It is Clay Collard against A.J. McKee. It is a matchup that is destined to be a classic fight. These guys both have incredible stand-up. A.J. McKee, incredible athlete with submissions, but Clay Collard goes to the body like anyone. I cannot wait for that fight.
We got the whole crew here. The anticipation is thick in the Saudi air because we all want to see these fights. But before we get to those, we got to get them weighed in tonight to put our fighters on the scale. We welcome the voice of the PFL Smart Cage, Andy Shepard.
Thank you, Sean. Yes, I'm here in the Smart Cage where tomorrow night battles for brand supremacy will take place. Who will seize the throne? We find out in just 24 hours' time. All that's left to do are our ceremonial weigh-ins, and to oversee those, let's welcome the president of Fighter Operations, Ray Sefo.
Action starts on our early card with an amateur bout contested at a catchweight of 129 pounds. Malek Bashahel and Vinicius Pereira.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Fortaleza, Brazil, Vinicius Pereira.
for Vinicius. Massive opportunity, a couple of opponent changes, but one constant is Vinicius let Recepo know he wanted to stay on the card.
And his opponent in the red corner, fighting out of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Malek Basahel.
Chael Sonnen, you want to talk about a guy who's not afraid of action? This young man fought 12 times in 2023. 12-0 with 11 finishes in those bouts. Malek Basahel says, oh, you want me to be in the PFL 4 fights in 8 months? No problem. I can make that happen. 124.9 for Malek Basahel. Our second bout of the night will take place in the featherweight division. Abdullah Al-Khatani, the hometown boy, taking on the finisher, Eduardo Rao.
In the blue corner, fighting out of Andhra Pradesh, India, Eduardo Rao.
Rao is actually fighting up a little bit in size. He's fought all the way up to 155 pounds. He's now making his descent to 135 pounds, but first, he stopped off here. Let's see how he does. 145.7 for Rao.
And his opponent in the red corner, fighting out of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Abdullah Al-Khatani.
You hear that pop from the crowd for the hometown fighter, Abdullah Al-Khatani, also familiar to PFL diehards. This is his third trip to the Smart Cage so far, 2-0 in the PFL. 146 pounds, his official weight. Our third bout of the evening takes place at a women's catchweight of 165 pounds. Claressa Shields, Kelsey DeSantis.
Introducing first in the blue corner, fighting at the Boca Raton, Florida, Kelsey DeSantis.
Kelsey DeSantis generally competes at 155 pounds. For this fight, it's a catch weight of 165, which was not her choice. She does make weight here at 155.6.
And her opponent in the red corner, fighting out of Flint, Michigan, Claressa Shields.
You see the chain, you know the name, Claressa Shields. The quote hardly needs any introduction. 3-division professional boxing champion, 2-time gold medalist. Claressa Shields stepping back into the Smart Cage for her third pro bout. 164.4 her weight. Up next a lightweight pro bout. This the first one for Biagio Ali Walsh as he takes on rising young talent from Argentina, Emmanuel Palacio.
First, in the blue corner, fighting out of San Francisco, Solano, Argentina, Emmanuel Palacio.
Palacio, our only fighter on the card, coming from Argentina, who, by the way, is having a major upswing in the sport of mixed martial arts. Palacio had a couple of different opponent options before settling in on Ali Walsh. He gets on the scale now. He makes weight at 152.6.
And his opponent in the red corner, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Biagio Ali Walsh.
Biagio Ali Walsh, the grandson of Muhammad Ali, making his long-awaited professional mixed martial arts debut. Ran through the amateur ranks. He is riding a streak of 5 straight finishes.
All right, I like this. And Sean, I've got to tell you, I have a daughter, Layla, or I apologize, my daughter is named after Layla Aldi, who happens to be Ali Walsh's aunt. How do you like that for a small world?
What a great connection that is. I'm more excited about what we're gonna see tomorrow night. This young man has been training with pros at Extreme Couture for a long time, giving them all they can handle. Biagio Ali Walsh. And how about this rematch 5 years in the making? Henry Corrales taking on Aaron Pico at lightweight.
In the blue corner, fighting out of Albuquerque by way of Whittier, California, Aaron Pico.
Aaron Pico, he was an aspiring Olympian. When he was only a senior in high school, he made it all the way to the final wrestle-off in 2006. One of the reasons Floyd Mayweather was so great is he was second generation. His coach is the man that lived across the hall. He called him Dad. Well, that same thing goes for AJ McKee. His father, Antonio McKee, also one of the greats. He's been a vet of Bellator. He will be coaching AJ now as AJ makes weight, 154.5 pounds.
And in the red corner, representing PFL, from Burley, Idaho, Clay Collard.
Cassius Clay Collard took absolutely no break after the championship bout against Olivier Albert-Massier because he knew an opportunity like this was coming. He is the most exciting lightweight on planet Earth. He's also one of the best boxers in mixed martial arts. AJ's got his hands full here.
Sean, I have wondered in the build-up to this fight if AJ knows just how difficult of a fight this is. Collard comes off rough. You want to know who Collard reminds me of? Collard is the PFL version of Justin Gaethje.
high praise from the bad guy for Cassius Clay Collard, and well deserved. Buy the pay-per-view because you absolutely need to see this fight. And it's only the first one on the card. Amanda Guerra has Cassius Clay.
We are here with Clay. Clay going up against AJ McKee, one of the most decorated fighters in Bellator. How excited were you when you found out that's who you were going to be facing in this?
Man, I love facing tough guys. You know, that's why I'm in this sport, is to face the best, and he's one of them. So we're ready to go test our skills against a guy like that for sure.
You know, he's confident coming into this one, said he potentially sees it standing on the feet, would like to beat you there. You told us today, come and make my day. You also said, I'm going to have fun in this fight because I'm going to do well. How do we know you're going to be having fun?
Man, I'm always doing the best when I'm having fun, you know. I know we're here to do a job, but it's fun to me, you know. I love this stuff, so I'm ready to get after it and have a good time doing it.
You were silent up there, but we're about to send it over to AJ. What is your message to him?
I hope he brings it, man, because I'm ready to fight. I hope he's ready to fight. So I want to put that show on for the fans, and I think he's one of the guys to do it with me. So
let's send it over to Josh and AJ.
Thanks, Amanda. AJ, Clay just said he hopes you bring it. I guess he has never seen you fight.
Yeah, man, I come out, put on a great show. It's just an honor to be here, so look forward to tomorrow night, guys. We're starting off the show with a bang, the people's main event. Let's get it.
Are you seeing that there's a little bit of animosity between the fighters because it's PFL versus Bellator?
Definitely, you know, we all got a job to do. We're coming into unmarked territory, and we're looking to claim it, so that's what Bellator is all about.
Give it to me. How does it go down?
It ain't going the distance, I'll tell you that much.
Thanks, AJ.
Up next, a light heavyweight contest. Two of the most fearsome fighters on the planet, Thiago Santos and Yoel Romero.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner and representing Bellator from Miami by way of Pina del Rio, Cuba, Yoel Romero.
In 2004, I was 2 years out of college, which meant I was 2 years out of my wrestling career, but I still followed it. I was watching the Olympic Games, and I watched this man get a bronze medal. A couple of years later, I watched him win the world gold medal. He followed up in 2008 with another Olympic medal. This time, he was in the finals. Yoel Romero, the soldier of God, makes weight at a perfect 205 pounds.
And his opponent in the red corner, representing PFL, fighting at the Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Thiago Santos.
Chael Sonnen, there's an old adage in sports that Father Time is undefeated. Well, I think this fight right here might actually challenge that notion, because both of these guys, 40-plus years of age, but look at the power, the size. Look at Thiago Santos and Yoel Romero facing off.
Oh my goodness, I think I will. I think I will. That is the definition of intensity, partner. Let Ray Sefo get in the middle of that one.
Now we're really getting into the meat on the bone, Chael Sonnen. It's champs versus champs the rest of the way. Bruno Capoloza and Vadim Nemkov at heavyweight.
Introducing first in the blue corner, representing Bellator, fighting at the Stary Oskar, Russia, Vadim Nemkov.
The great Vader Emelianenko has a whole slew of fighters, but there's two that he's very proud of. He hasn't put them in order, but Moldavsky and this man, Vadim Nemkov, our 205-pound world champion, is moving up to heavyweight for the first time. And quite frankly, I think he looks great on the scale as he tips it at 238 pounds.
And his opponent in the red corner, representing PFL, fighting out of Rio, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Bruno Capoloza.
I understand Vadim Nemkov wanting to move to heavyweight. I don't understand wanting your first fight to be against that man. The former PFL heavyweight champion, Bruno Capoloza, who weighs in lighter than Nemkov, interestingly enough, at 236.2, the fastest hands in the heavyweight division.
PFL former heavyweight champion against Bellator former light heavyweight champion.
This next bout will be contested at a catch weight of 182 pounds on account of the late notice. Ray Cooper III and Jason Jackson.
First, fighting out of the blue corner and representing Bellator from Deerfield Beach, Florida, by way of Jamaica, Jason Jackson.
You know, they say never judge a book by its cover, but if a picture's worth 1,000 words, go ahead and look at this, Sean, because this is what you and your squad is going to be facing come tomorrow. You want to know what Jackson's good at? He's good at beating people up, and he weighs 182 pounds.
And in the red corner, representing PFL, fighting out of Pearl City, Hawaii, Ray Cooper III.
That slip of the tongue, that's a subliminal message from you on the Bellator side, because you know that guy hits like someone who weighs 282 pounds. Ray Cooper III, two-time welterweight champ in the PFL, three-time finalist. That man is scary everywhere. I tell you what, bad guy, my palms are getting a little sweaty, all right? Knees weak, arms heavy. Thankfully, nothing on the sweater already, but listen, we're getting down to the real nitty-gritty. These next two fights, it's current champ versus current champ. It's returning PFL champ versus defending Bellator champ. And Ray Sefo, as big and bad as they come. But there might be one man in the history of combat sports that's even more feared than Ray Sefo, that's even more respected than Ray Sefo. And we're gonna have him come out and face off these next fighters. You know who I'm talking about.
You're talking about Iron Mike. You're talking about the man. And by the way, you're talking about your hands being sweaty. I think those face-offs made you a little nervous. They made me a little more confident. I got more pep in my step after watching Team Bellator.
No, it's all about the excitement. I'm just so excited to see that PFL flag planted over and over and over again, including, by the way, in the co-main and the main event. Let's bring out Iron Mike Tyson. Iron Mike, it's so good to see you again beside the PFL Smart Cage. We're happy to have you here tonight for the weigh-ins. We're happy to have you here tomorrow night for the fights as well. Look, we've got some really intense fights. We got some great boxers. What are you expecting here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia?
Hey, I expect all spectacular fights, a lot of knockouts. Hey, this is it. This is for all the marbles. When I was talking to the fighters in the back, they were saying they were looking forward to me strapping that belt around their waist, and I believe they're really serious.
Mike, thank you for being here. You look fantastic, by the way, but you've been on the roll with predictions. You're the one that told the world Francis Ngannou can go with Fury. Now, the guys in the main event are going to be squaring off with your guy, Francis Ngannou. Do you have a prediction?
Hey, listen, best man wins. But you know, they have a really heavy, high mountain to climb. But the best man wins.
I think that's a fair answer, Coach.
Iron Mike is going to be here for the pay-per-view. Make sure you get that pay-per-view. If not for everything you've seen already, for our co-main and our main event as we continue champs versus champs. And you know what? That co-main event that I just mentioned, Ipika Sanganai going back down to middleweight to take on the man a lot of people think is the best in the world at 185 pounds. Still undefeated, Johnny Evans.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner and representing Bellator from Coconut Creek, Florida, by way of Kansas City, Missouri, Johnny Evans.
Yes, that is right. Representing Bellator. Imagine that we got a tied score when you see this monster coming into the cage, Johnny Evans, and he tips the scale at a perfect 185.5 pounds.
I will acknowledge
and his opponent in the red corner, representing PFL, fighting out of Deerfield Beach, Florida, Impa Kasunganai.
Impa Kasunganai, he went all the way up to 205 and he won the PFL season. And Johnny Eblin says, I can break anybody, I can wear anybody out. My cardio is my biggest weapon. Impa Kasunganai doesn't even get tired in 5-round fights. Now carrying less weight, this man is a cardio machine at 185 pounds. Champion versus champion.
They say your boy Impa is the smartest guy in MMA, but he wasn't smart enough to get out of this fight. He's got Evelyn tomorrow, partner.
That was a long stare down, Chael. That was a long look these guys took at one another. All right, I need to hear from both of these fighters. We've got our interviewers up on stage for that. Amanda Guerra, please, Impa Kasunganai first.
We are here with Impa. First of all, how cool is that to have Mike Tyson there for your weigh-in and stare down?
It's a great honor. He's an inspiration of mine, you know. Here to work and, to see a guy who's done it time and time again, I'm blessed.
Going up against Johnny Eblin, and we heard Chael talking about this, many believe that he is the best middleweight in the world, undefeated. Are people overlooking you in this fight?
I don't care. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to claim my victory. I'm not here to be the best middleweight, light heavyweight. I'm here to be the best fighter to ever do it. So, can keep the titles, can keep the weight classes. I'm going to dominate.
Johnny Eblin, 14-0. You told us today that you're going to give him his first loss. How are you going to do that, and what does it mean to represent the PFL in this?
Respect to Johnny Eblin. I'm going to dominate him from the beginning to the end. Get the finish, claim this victory, move forward. And it's an honor to be a part of PFL. This time last year, I wasn't in it, right? So, to have my team here, the people that helped me get here, that's all that matters. I thank God. I say honor God and do my job.
Impa, thank you so much. Josh, you heard him. He said he's going to dominate Johnny from beginning to end. We'll send it over to you.
Johnny Eblin. Impa just said he's going to dominate you from beginning to end. Got some words for that?
Yeah. He's in for a rude awakening, brother. He'll find out tomorrow night.
You're widely considered, I would say arguably considered the best middleweight in the world. What does he bring to the table that you've been concerned about?
He's durable. He's durable and he has good cardio. But good thing I have fucking powerful hands. I can wrestle. I got good cardio. I'm going to beat you from start to finish, brother.
How cool was that to have Mike Tyson there?
Pretty fucking cool, I'm not going to lie, man. That's pretty sick. I can't wait for him to wrap that belt around my waist.
All right, there you go. Got it. Johnny Eblin. Sean, back to you.
And that, of course, brings us to our main event tomorrow night. Heavyweight contest. For bragging rights and for a matchup in the future with Francis Ngannou, Reina Ferreira, and Ryan Bader.
Introducing first in the blue corner, representing Bellator, fighting out of Gilbert, Arizona, Ryan Bader.
Easily the most underappreciated man in the sport. I'm not saying underrated, he's our champion, but I'm telling you, he's underappreciated. He not only beat Bader, he beat him twice, and he's getting ready to take out your champion, and then Francis on top of that. Remember I said it, Sean.
And his opponent in the red corner, representing PFL, fighting out of Portugal, Brazil, Reina Ferreira.
I don't know if there's anyone in the game who respects Ryan Bader and his accomplishments more than me, Chael Sonnen. But if I was Ryan Bader, coming off a year away from the sport, that is not what I would want to see. Reina Ferreira, finish after finish after finish, more explosive than any heavyweight in the world. And look at the size difference there.
Hey, don't just look at them, look at Iron Mike. In all fairness, this is the greatest heavyweight ever. Look at the size difference between these men. What a difference 2 generations can make, partner. Sean, are you no-selling me? Are you looking at this photo or not? Huh?
I love what I see.
Chances?
I'm just evaluating how big Ryan Bader's problem is tomorrow night. And it's real big. All right, we've got... You know what, let's go to the Bellator side of the card for the first discussion. Josh Thompson has Ryan Bader. Go ahead, Josh.
Ryan Bader, you're a big man. He's a big man. They call him the problemo. How do you handle that and make sure he's not a problemo tomorrow?
We've been doing all camp. I brought in huge guys for training camp. I'm no stranger to fighting big guys, you know. I feel like different aspects of this fight, I control that 100%, and we'll see you on Saturday.
You fought guys like Matt Mitrione, Jack Congo, Linton Vassell, guys that are big, not quite that big, but what does he bring to the table that you would maybe give you problems?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not that big, but I feel like a lot of those guys have a little more skills, more well-rounded. You know, he's a big guy, he's fast, he's going to be lengthy out there. His 1-2 that he likes to throw is going to be long, it's going to be halfway across the cage. I got to get in there, make it a dogfight, test his heart, and I'll come out with the victory.
Give me a prediction. How do you get it done?
Second round, ground and pound.
Well, there you have it. Ground and pound, second round. Over to Amanda.
Josh, thank you so much. Hannah, Ryan Bader just told us that he's going to finish you off in the second round via ground and pound. Why is that not going to happen, and how much of a problem are you going to be for him?
Bader acabou de falar que vai terminar a luta num ground and pound no segundo round. Diz aí pra gente por que isso não vai acontecer e vai ser um problema para ele.
Eu sou grande problema para qualquer e ele sabe disso. Essa luta não vai ser fácil e eu vou sair vencedor.
I'm just a big problem for anyone. This is not going to be an easy fight. I'm going to come out with my hand raised.
At 6'8", that is absolutely true. A big problem for anyone. You have the chance to beat Ryan Bader and then face Francis Ngannou. What would that mean to you?
Você tem a chance de ganhar do Bader e depois lutar com o Francis Ngannou. O que isso significa para você?
Isso é uma motivação a mais, estou muito feliz e empolgado. Quando eu soube essa notícia, isso me empolgou, me deu mais energia para sair campeão dessa luta.
This is just great news. It just gave me extra motivation to come out here and put on a show for everyone.
And good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to Sean.
Thank you, Amanda. Of course, thank you, Josh. Thank you, Dan and Randy and Big John and everybody.
Chael. Thank you, Chael.
Sure, fine. Chael also. That's all we've got for the weigh-ins, Chael.
I'm pumped. Can I get it on this? I've never been more fired up. Did you see Iron Mike Tyson? He didn't even know what to do some part of the time. He was staring at these guys almost like he was enamored by them.
He's going to be there tomorrow night. Little Bird told me Francis Ngannou is going to be here in the kingdom to watch his future opponent, whoever wins that main event. A couple other VIPs in the sports world, the fight sports world. I don't want to necessarily bury every lead here, but it's going to be a packed house in a sold-out Kingdom Arena. We're going to be beside the PFL Smart Cage, and all of you at home need to be watching on DAZN, on ESPN Plus, on pay-per-view when we get to our Champs versus Champs. Seize the throne. Never has it been done before. One organization puts its championships and its bragging rights on the line against the champions in another organization. PFL, Bellator coming together, doing it right. Chael, I cannot wait.
Come on, you can't wait. I can't wait to tell you I told you so. I mean, listen, I know we're all going to be one happy family, but that comes next week. We got one piece of business, and it's a dual meet tomorrow night.
I am going to be waving that PFL flag, and I'm going to snatch a Bellator ring away from somebody.
Not on my watch.
See you tomorrow night in the Kingdom.